What's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, and we are not on my normal Red Rock terrain. We have traveled down to Prescott, Arizona to Watson Lake, and we are out here at the 2024 Arizona Summer Shootout. We are already on course with my MOA here. So this is 2.2 Pro class, and this is my first course of the day. It was a little bit windy and cold out here for the weekend. They did move the event to April rather than June of 23, and surely in hopes to have nicer weather, a little bit cooler, maybe not get cooked out there on the rocks, but that did mean that we were in for some springtime weather. So it was a little bit cold, a little bit shaky, and we were working our way through this first course. Now this is my second day of competing. This is on Saturday. On Friday, we did a full day of running Sportsman. I definitely want to send a thank you to Wyatt Mellon out here for filming for me. He was in our group and helped guide me through the course, give me some tips along the way as well, and also filming and chasing me around out here on the rocks. So in this video, I want to cover 3 different runs out here at the Summer Shootout for 2.2 Pro. I want to show my first run of the day, I want to show my worst run of the day, and then I want to show you my best run of the day. So hopefully you guys like that format. We did end up running 6 courses out here at the Shootout in hopes that we would not have to have a shootout, but ultimately in the end, first and second place were tied at the end of the day. So they did do a 2-person shootout where ultimately that ended up going to Mitch Hoover. So congrats to Mitch holding his own against Dave Cape, former world champ, and super awesome to see Mitch getting better and wow, getting myself into a tight spot there, not going so great on course. So the course design has 10 gates as well as 3 bonuses. Bonuses are optional and only count as long as you complete the course. So if you're wasting all your time trying to get through bonuses, like that one right there on top of that rock that I just passed by, if you waste too much time on bonuses and don't finish, you lose out on the points of that. Now, it is a major points swing if you do not finish versus just finishing. You lose points and you get a maximum point out, which is 40 points, and then you take away however many gates you progressed along the course. So right here, getting a little bit lost, thanks to Wyatt for telling me where to go. But this is my second year out here competing with these guys, and there are a lot of really excellent drivers that come out to this event. So it's very fun to go out here and really see how my skills stack up against truly some of the best out there to have ever done it. So really having a lot of fun with that. Ooh, getting myself in a little bit of trouble in the cracks. I know how to crawl cracks, just need to take my time, let that Reefs 1100 Smart Servo do its work, and those Holmes Polar 500 motors. I guess we'll just kind of turn left and then do a 180 and maybe do a front burn and zip around. So if you guys aren't familiar with MOA cars, that stands for motor on axle, and I can control them individually with my controller. So I can do front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. I can even adjust the overdrive between the front and rear motor, which is very cool and very fun. But it also means that there's a lot of things going on at the same time to try and control the car in the most effective way possible. So we're working our way through the course, making pretty good time here on our first course. During the shootout this year, I decided that I liked running first in our group. So I'm actually not the very first one on this course, but the rest of the time I am running first through the courses. So right here, just graze that bonus gate, and if I would have not done that, it would have made a difference at the ultimate conclusion of this event and where I would have placed. And I'm confident I could have, taken just a little more time and not hit that gate. This drop is very steep. These cars are very front weight heavy, which means they like to flip over forward if you go down too steep. Wyatt gave me some great advice right there that if you panic and throttle, your rear tires can come down and smack the cone if you don't drop evenly. So he said if it drops and flips, just let it. You're much less likely to actually hit the cone, and because of the large tires and the tiny chassis design, once these cars are upside down, you still have traction to the ground, and you're actually able to upright yourself pretty easily. If you had to grab the car and upright it, it is a 5-point penalty, and if you get trapped in a bunch of rocks and have to actually grab and move the car to rescue it, then there we go. Nice finish there for course number 1. Pretty happy with how it went overall. If you have to grab it and move it, then it is a reposition, and that is 10 points, which you definitely want to avoid, and you have to go back to the last gate that you made it all the way through. So now it's time to move on to my worst run of the day. First, worst, and best, right? So this one, interestingly, is actually one of the later courses I ran. We ran 6 courses, as I mentioned. This is course number 5 that I had run. So I was kind of in the groove, knew what the car was doing. Not exactly sure what exactly went wrong here. I know exactly what went wrong. I can point it out exactly when it happens. But I've had a few issues out here on this course, this being one of them. I tried to creep across this rock and unfortunately just end up on my differentials, unable to get across, and then I'm pointed in a really bad spot. Thankfully, these cars are so capable, and was able to get up and out of there and happened to flip over and actually point my car towards the gate where I needed to go. Watching this footage now, man, this seems like I'm a little bit of a panic and trying to rush through the course. That is, of course, because we have 6-minute time limits. And again, getting back to you've got to finish to get as many points as possible. And so if you want to be competitive, number one thing is just finish courses, no doubt. So here we are working our way to an optional bonus. This was a fun one. Getting a little bit out of shape there. I did not want to end up quite that far out. Luckily, with that front wheel drive, able to pull that front end around, pushing the car across that front axle. It actually slid right across that rock pretty smooth. Those axles are from Deluxe Fab. You can actually get a whole MOA kit car from Deluxe Fab right there, that gate. Why did that happen? I should not have run straight over that gate like I did. Even my judge was making fun of me for that one. And yeah, that one absolutely I could have avoided. It was not that hard or technical of a gate. It was really more to just kind of guide you through to the next one, which was a far more technical approach to the gate, but man, just kind of a dumb mistake there. That should not have happened. But working our way up to this one, there's multiple approaches to these gates you can take. Like over to the right, you could back up and then swing your front end around and try and wiggle your way through that way. But I decided to go the harder V-notch from the bottom. I'm very comfortable in V-cracks like that, so that's what I like to go and do in my free time. Doing a little bit of rear wheel drive only right there to try and bring that rear end down. And then I'm going to try and front only to bring it back. There's a cone down on the low side. Getting trapped up on my axles quite a bit on this course, but luckily just snaked past that cone on the bottom side there. That worked out pretty nice. I'm going to go up and loop around through gate number 7, I believe it was. Oh, never mind. I'm going for bonus right there. It would have probably worked a little bit better for me if I had gone to the other gate first, but hey, we made it through anyway. So working our way up. Hate to spoil it for you, but I did finish every course out there at the event, which I'm very proud of, very happy to do that. And again, this is my worst course, so having tagged that first gate already, that was just completely unnecessary. That did not help anything there. But I seem to keep having issues getting up on my axles. A little bit of rear wheel drive only to help square me up to that gate worked out really nice. I think a lot of people really underutilize their rear wheel drive only. And I probably overuse it, trying to see where and when it can help me. So this one was another one I had some real trouble with. So this rock is amazing in how much traction it provides, which also means if you get your tires trapped up in a bad spot, it will get in a bind. So I actually take a reverse here, but then it's getting to the point where my front end is not actually spinning. There was too much traction. And I'm concerned that if I keep backing up, it's going to force that front right tire into the cone. So now I'm kind of in this trapped no man's land of, hey, how do I get out of here? And so I'm trying to get up on this rock, but not let that rear. So then it kind of looking better right there. If I can get the car straightened out a little bit. Now the rear tire is too far under the car. And as it just comes through here, that back right is dangerously close. And just that little steering just tapped that gate. Again, another gate that definitely should not have hit it. That one I was having some troubles with. I can understand why I hit it. That's a lot more technical approach to it versus the one earlier that I had just straight up ran over for no reason. So unfortunately, picking up another gate here on this course, which is not helping my overall score. One interesting thing in this course format, the competition format, this is WRCCA rule set. So you have a point out possible, meaning if you accrue more than 40 penalties in your run, then you are pointed out and your run is over. So you cannot hit 4 gates essentially, or anything that adds up to 39 or more. You're only allowed to use 39 points. Once you use your 40th point, you're done. So this is a bonus. Again, a V-crack. I was struggling to get my right rear kind of set down in the crack there. Had to take a reverse, but if I can make it up through this bonus, it is worth negative 10 points. Although, it's only worth negative 10 points if I'm actually able to complete the course. Right there, trying to turn right to get up and around, to drop back down. Having some issues there where the car kind of headed out left, but luckily with that front only, you're able to bring it back down and get it positioned how I want. Now it's a time crunch. We're getting pretty low on time. It's got 1 crack left, and all I've got to do is just do one of my favorite things, which is to run a notch like this. So getting low on time, it can definitely make you panic and drive bad, but I really try to remind myself right there to just slow down and drive well. So that was my worst run of the day. Let's take a look at my best run of the day. Again, starting first, no one else in our group had run this, and I did not watch anyone of the previous group ahead of us run it. We traveled around through the courses with our squads essentially, and everybody would help each other run through, and then you kind of chase the squad that's ahead of you through the day. So I didn't watch anybody run it beforehand. Just you get to walk through the course beforehand, get an idea of where the gates go, take a look at what you may want to do on course, how you want to approach certain gates. And every course is different. They were all designed and built by different teams who came out to the event. So it's really fun to see who kind of has what flavor and what kind of course they like to set. Like personally, I would set a course with a lot of V-cracks in it because I feel that I'm pretty good at it and some other people may not be. So if I can set one like that where I could have an advantage, I would certainly do that. This one's definitely got some fun obstacles in here. I liked this course a lot. Trying to dance your way through the weeds and stuff, man, the bushes and weeds can really play havoc on your run out here if you're not careful. So just trying to snake past that orange gate, and then you got to get your rear set to not hit the gate. Trying to see what ends up happening here. I guess I decided to just drive straight through, very close to both cones, although I was able to get through nice and clean. Then you got to loop back around. That bonus was a little bit out of the way, so then we're going to work our way back down to the normal course flow. Bonus wasn't too hard, but definitely had to slow down there for a second, make sure I didn't just run into another gate. That would be bad. But this blue chalk line right here is a boundary. Now, if you touch a boundary, meaning, you know, any part of your car touches it, usually you can see that you've touched one because you will have chalk on your tire. You've got to stay away from them, although this gate, intentionally they set a boundary there to make it difficult to miss the boundary while hitting the line that you need. If you touch the boundary, it is 10 points, and then you have to reposition your car back to the previous gate, and then you have to essentially try and position yourself again to go past the boundary and get through the next gate again. So it can be really tricky if you get it wrong. And boundaries are always live, so you could hit it multiple times if you get it wrong. This one, I tried to get my left rear set up a little bit better. It didn't quite get up the wall like I wanted. Maybe a rear only could have helped me here, but I'm just trying to keep this front axle more level out on the ground. Actually, watching this back, I'm watching this back for the first time as I narrate this, and it went through a lot faster than it felt like when I was doing this. So this is an example of walking the course beforehand, and we walked through as a team and talked about it. People weren't sure how to approach this one, had some advice to try it from the bottom. This is the line that I saw working best, and that is to go from the top, land the tire down on that small ledge above the gate. Car's trying to unload, that right rear's in the air. Do a front wheel drive only just to help settle the car. Don't let it fall too far, and then I kind of throttled out just to be sure that I didn't hit that bottom gate. Push the car really hard through that little canyon there into a bit of a bind. And yeah, those deluxe axles holding up great. So right there, I had to ask the judge, hey man, where am I going? When you're in the middle of a run like this, you can kind of forget where you're at on course and where to go next. Things get a little bit crazy. This is a fun gate. This is one where I had a specific vision in mind of how to make it work, and that is to get up on the wall early and then drive through sideways as long as possible before dropping off the ledge. So I'm trying to avoid that low cone, trying to keep the front axle balanced. Don't get too out of shape there. Car lands on its tires. Hey, I'm happy. Let's go. And right here, that bonus cone, as you will see, belongs right up there on the ledge. This is a very tricky and steep technical approach, and I remember taking some time and work to get it up there. That went pretty smooth overall. The car was definitely working right there. So now I've got my front wheel kind of flat faced on the wall, and I use my steering servo power to help push that rear tire up on the wall as well. And then you'll see a lot of mixing of front wheel drive only and you know, rear burns and whatnot. I definitely don't want to hit this gate, so I'm trying to use some servo wiggling to not hit the gate. Ooh man, I'm right there. They are making sure that I am not hitting the cone. And as according to Mitch, I was clean on it. Did end up taking a little bit of a barrel roll, but we didn't hit any gates and we're on our way out. So that's bonus number 2 for this course. Now we're getting pretty close to the end of this run. And I don't remember specifically. I think this could be gate 8 or 9. I think that's 9. Working our way through, nice little side hill. One bonus, it's kind of a time waster. It's just over here out in the weeds, kind of out of your way. But if you just monster truck those weeds like that, this climb is definitely not bad. Able to get up through there. Now I'm just rushing to get to gate 10, make sure I finish out the course and pick up all my points. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I haven't backed up, I haven't uprighted, I haven't hit any gates. So far, this is a perfect run. If I can hold it together, we're going to have a perfect run for my best run of the day, which would also be my first perfect run in a WRCCA comp. Very happy about that. Super stoked to be crossing gate number 10. And what an awesome time out there at the Arizona Summer Shootout. So thanks so much to the event coordinators, the event sponsors. Thank you guys all so much. People who set courses. It was a great time. We ended up going to dinner one of the nights with a bunch of the guys who were at the comp. There's about 65 drivers that came and attended this comp. And in 2.2 Pro, there were 65 to 67 entries there. And I was able to come out in 7th place overall, which feels really good. The previous year, I was able to get a 5th place. This year, more better drivers showed up. So the fact that I went from 5th to 7th, I still think is an improvement over the year before, as I think there were more than 2 drivers that showed up that were certainly capable of beating me. But on this day, I had some good runs, was able to pull it together, pulled out a 7th place that I'm very happy about. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the competition footage. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.